Warning, this podcast contains violence, sexuality, gore, and other horrible and disturbing things. Listener discretion is advised. Also, the hosts of this venture are ignorant dipshits, so please do not take anything they say as fact. And enjoy the show.
Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin.
Today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be.
It is our basic human right to be fuck-up.
A second plane now has crashed into the other tower of the World Trade Center.
Putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
The defendant shall be incarcerated for the rest of her natural life with no possibility of parole.
You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the drugs began to take hold.
Hello, occultists, and welcome back to Occulte Veritatis podcast. My name is Leon Filger, along with
Sageberry,
Ood Gallifrey,
Richard Bigley,
the Soundboard Demon,
Bambi,
Henry Chapman,
The Void.
So when I was a kid, there was a show on the Discovery Channel called Connections, hosted by British zoologist Desmond Morris. In the show, Morris would take viewers on a trip through history and science, touching on multiple subjects and showing how each successive subject was related by 1 degree of separation. In this episode, I shall attempt to do the same thing, and everyone should have a good time. But first, and Christ help us all, it's time for What's Your Poison?
So, what's your poison?
So for today's What's Your Poison, I need to introduce our new sponsor. They're a hot sauce company out of Prince Edward Island, Canada, called Maritime Madness, and they have sent us a goodie bag full of the worst goodies I can possibly imagine because I don't like spicy food. It's a whackload of their hot sauces. Now, these things range in heat from 4 to 12. We're going to start on the 4 end and work our way up to 12. Because there's so many fucking hot sauces to try, like 13 in total, we're going to do a hot sauce and then a bit of the episode, then a hot sauce and a bit of the episode, et cetera, until all the fucking sauces are gone. So we're starting off. Gio the Void has handed out crackers here with the hot sauce on them. The first sauce we're trying is Maritime Madness's Shuckin' Delicious Lime and Cilantro Hot Sauce. Yeah, no, seriously, Maritime Madness was so good to us. Like in this care package, not only were there 13 hot sauces, but they gave us like Carolina Reaper peanut brittle and some of this one chunk challenge shit and 2 t-shirts, which was totally awesome. And to top it all off, all the hot sauces were packed inside a Prince Edward Island potato bag.
but no potatoes.
So the reason Maritime Madness is our sponsor is because I am a curator of a fairly large collection of hot sauces. And a few weeks ago, I set about contacting various Canadian hot sauce makers in hopes that someone would sponsor us. And Maritime Madness stepped up to the plate. So here we go. Everyone take your bite.
Okay.
I already did.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
If this is a 4,
This is a spicy 4. Oh,
12's gonna suck.
It's pretty warm for the first one.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's very like citrusy and bright.
It tastes good.
I like it.
It is
It's
very.
very
This is
sweetness.
quite spicy of a
I do
thing,
like
but
it.
for a hot sauce, it makes sense.
This would be good on a burger.
Yeah. You know what? I can taste that.
It's definitely a vinegary kind of
Yeah.
one. Like you wouldn't have it on something sweet necessarily. Well, you might, but
I would tastefully, like in reasonable quantities, add this to a sandwich or burger that I was having. This is fine.
this is very similar. This is similar to like
This would be great.
not in taste, but like cock sauce in application. I could see just like dump some of this on a bowl of rice.
It tastes like spicy plum sauce.
There's some notes of like that fruit, you know, that lime and cilantro.
I'm in such big trouble if this is only a 4.
We're just beginning, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Fun fact: Leon Filger loves hot sauce, but hates hot sauce.
Like, it's really weird because, I mean, before he like moved into the studio, it was like ketchup would make him like beat up. He hated pizza. The thought of a donair, it was just too much for him. But he's really expanded his
palate?
food consumption, his palate.
He even thinks of a donaire and he shits himself.
Yeah.
What was the Scoville rating of this sauce?
It doesn't have a Scoville rating. They have their internal rating system, and this is a 4 out of 12, insofar as I can tell.
Okay.
Over 9,000.
What, 9,000? There's no way that can be right, can it? I think it's right.
I'm very curious about what each step is going to say.
Yeah, the first ingredient in this is cayenne pepper, so that's
why it's a
where
little
you're
baby. It's a
basing
little
it.
baby hot sauce.
Yeah.
I mean, between sipping milk to take care of the spice and the hot sauce itself, I'm going to say a short prayer for my sheets tonight. So hopefully it goes well.
Okay, shall we carry on? Okay, so we're talking about Desmond Morris, the fellow with the show that I used to watch. So let's start this episode with Desmond Morris himself. First of all, he's old as fuck. He's 94 years old, but still seems to get around all right, so good for him.
What do you think the line is for as fuck? Is that like 86, I think?
89.
89? Oh,
89, I think, is as fuck.
Yeah. So Morris was educated at Oxford University and is best known for his 1967 best-selling book, The Naked Ape. The book was so named because out of 193 species of monkeys and apes, only humans, Homo sapiens sapiens, are not covered in hair, except for Richard Bigley. Morris, who had been the curator of mammals at
Guerrilla
London...
warfare, man.
Morris, who had been the curator of mammals at London Zoo, said his book was intended to popularize and demystify science.
This book got me into all sorts of trouble. A zoologist wasn't supposed to write about human beings. And worse still, the zoologist was writing about them as though they were just another kind of animal. The chapter headings in The Naked Ape were almost the same as the ones in my thesis on sticklebacks. There's a chapter on feeding behavior, fighting behavior, mating behavior, parental behavior, the same things that I'd studied in fish. And what made The Naked Ape an unusual book was that it was written just as the same way that I would write about other animals. And I said at the beginning that I'm going to ignore all the higher achievements of human beings that people usually write about. And I'm going to look at his basic ones. I'm only going to look at things we share with other animals, like feeding and mating and fighting. I'm not going to look at literature and art and science and research and philosophy and politics. I'm not going to look at any of that. I'm going to ignore all that and just say, what do we share with other animals? And it was clear to me that it'd be very foolish of any species to throw away a genetic background. And it was clear to me that a lot of the behavior patterns that we performed were inborn or had a very strong inborn influence. I didn't want to suggest that we had genetic instructions in our behavior. We certainly had genetic instructions in our anatomy and our physiology, obviously. But in our behavior, at the time I wrote The Naked Ape, everyone said that we were born as a tabula rasa, as a blank sheet on which education wrote everything. So that our entire personalities were based on what we learned during our lifetime, and that when we started out, we were just blank sheets. Now, I thought this can't be true because no species is going to throw away all the achievements that have occurred during its evolution, because what happens during the course of evolution is that certain patterns of behavior turn out to be more successful than others, and they're selected. And that must apply to us. One of your genetic suggestions is that you should be very innovative and playful, because we are a very playful species. Adult play is what we call science and art and all those wonderful things that human beings do. But they're all essentially to do with curiosity and invention and innovation and exploring new ideas and new things. And that we're very, very good at. The Naked Ape is at his most fulfilled when he keeps reasonably close to those basic suggestions and doesn't stray too far from them.
And with that, let's head on to the second sauce.
Technically, sexual reproduction started about 2 billion years ago, so old as fuck would be 2 billion years ago.
You know, they call us the Naked Ape, but I don't see chimpanzees wearing pants.
Also remember, once you touch the hot sauce with your fingers, put it directly in your foreskin. If you don't have a foreskin, fucking grow one. I don't know.
I'll try.
Get good.
Put it in my clitoral hood.
Yeah.
Okay, so this hot sauce...
Can you get me stem cells?
Henry's face.
So this hot sauce, which is also a number 4 on their scale, is Maritime Madness East Coast Wing and Caesar hot sauce. So now that we've...
Oh, you can smell the Caesar on it.
Got like a ketchup
one?
consistency almost.
It smells like a Caesar.
Bottoms up, guys.
How many C's thick is it?
Oh, I'm not a fan of Caesars.
I think a 2 C's thick.
That one's good.
It's like smoky, maybe?
That would be good on wings.
That's why it's the wing sauce.
Is
It does
wing?
taste
Yeah.
like a Caesar.
That's pretty fucking tasty.
That was good too. I'm liking this. I think 4 is a very safe place for you to stay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Caesars, so
I like the first one better.
it's too Caesar-y for me.
I thought this one was really good.
It didn't seem as sharp to start, but it's got more kick than the first one.
Yeah.
I think it's less spicy.
I think it's less spicy too, but it's got more flavor. I enjoyed this one quite a bit.
It's a lot sweeter.
I'd add it to a Caesar. It was so good in a Caesar. No kidding. You're a genius.
Yeah. So Morris said that Homo sapiens not only have the largest brains of all higher primates, but that sexual selection in human evolution has caused humans to have the highest ratio of penis size to body mass.
Oh,
Yes.
Morris conjectured that human earlobes developed as an additional erogenous zone to facilitate the extended sexuality necessary in the evolution of human monogamous pair bonding. Morris further stated that the more rounded shape of human female breasts means they are mainly a sexual signaling device rather than simply providing milk for infants. This take has been controversial, to say the least.
Controversial titties.
You know, having the biggest penis in the primate kingdom isn't all it's chalked up to be. We have a way higher chance of getting it caught in gates and fences and
Is that often a problem,
zippers.
getting your penis caught in a gate?
It's not often a problem, but it's a problem I often worry about.
It really depends on how often you're close to gates.
And mostly zippers.
Yeah.
I guess I have like an irrational fear of like a snake coming out of the toilet and biting my vagina.
Yeah.
That's perfectly rational.
Yeah.
That's
I'm sure it's
terrifying
happened.
thought.
Like I had my nipple pierced, and it was in like, it was a barbell, so like when you're washing yourself like with a loofah and it would get caught and you would, fuck, it hurt.
Nope.
No, thank you.
There's a human that is known to me who has his nipple pierced, and he hung chainmail off of it. Went to a club or a party, and over the course of wearing this for several hours, it turned his nipple piercing sideways so that it started out horizontal, and now it's at like a 45.
Because it was too much weight hanging on it?
Yeah.
That's concerning.
It's concerning.
Barnacles have a penis to body ratio of 8 to 1
Oh, fuck.
because a barnacle is only about, half an inch long, and their penis is about 8 inches or 4 inches long, sorry.
All dick.
Well, I'm not going sailing anymore.
The greater hooked squid has a 1-to-1 penis size to body mass ratio, or body size ratio, at 26 inches.
He can use his dick as a body pillow.
for
That's
him.
nice.
You can use it as like a sword, you know?
Don't they shoot their penises?
Oh, fuck.
Like they're like literally
No,
like a detachable
do.
penis?
That's what I do.
I believe one of their penises is actually one of their arms called a hectocotylus. That's what it is for other cephalopods.
Okay.
The Argentine lake duck also has a 1-to-1 body penis ratio
Ducks have huge cocks and they're all like squiggly.
at 16 inches.
And lady ducks have like
Squiggly.
twisty turny vaginas.
Yeah.
Now, blue whales have comparatively small penises to their size
Haha, losers.
at 2 to 25. However, in absolute terms, they are 8 feet long.
Jesus.
Tapirs have a 1 to 4 at 19 inches long. Sea turtles 1 to 5 at about a foot. Some pigs are also 1 to 5 at about a foot and a half.
Oh, fuck.
Pigs also have corkscrew penises. I know a lot about penis shapes, apparently.
Is that corked or uncorked? Like, do you gotta stretch it out to get that length?
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
If they got
Are
a
they-
semi-hard
but are
on,
they-
can they bounce on it?
Are they measured flaccid or erect?
Many of these animals would have penis bones.
Oh,
Yeah, dick bones, like bear dick bones.
Bacula.
So like literal boners, hey?
What is it then?
Well, I do know what this is. This is a walrus baculum, so a penis
That's
bone.
right, it is a penis bone.
And I know it's the largest penis bone on Earth. I don't know much more than that. I know we don't have them.
That's right.
But that's about it.
But we're in a minority there. 86% of mammal species alive today have got penis bones of some kind of shape or size. There's various different hypotheses for what they might or might not do. Certainly they can structurally support and maintain an erection. And it can definitely allow longer sex and more frequent sex. So, for example, lions with their bacula will have sex potentially up to 100 times a day.
One day.
In one day. And also, it will provide other kinds of structural integrity as well. So it will help keep the urethra open during sex, so preventing the tube through which sperm passes from kind of being compressed and collapsed while sex is happening.
So they're really useful.
And also, they are arguably the most variable single bone shown in any vertebrate. So there's a vast range of different sizes and structures and shapes.
This one's broken as well. That's incredible that it's actually survived and it's healed as well.
We can only hope that it broke and re-healed outside the mating season.
I hope. Is it true that walrus penis bones were used as clubs?
It is true, yes. When walruses being hunted by people like the Viking colonists, the Norse in Greenland hundreds of years ago, they'd also harvest the bacula from the walruses at the same time and whittle them and carve them and turn them into axe handles and clubs. So people would have been killed by being bashed on the head with bacula, potentially.
Oh, imagine being beaten to death with a penis bone.
And with that, let's hit the next sauce.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so this sauce is the Maritime Madness Down East Stinger Honey Garlic Hot Sauce.
Yeah, this one smells like sweet.
What was the rating on this one?
This is a 4.
Sweet.
That's good.
That's good.
It's too sweet for me.
I expected to hate every one of these, but this one's really nice.
I think it's less hot than the one we just tried.
Yeah.
Maybe our mouths are just becoming like
Just fry.
acclimated.
That's decent. I'm still enjoying these. 4 is good. Thanks, Maritime Madness.
Thanks, Maritime Madness. Fuck.
Now I want wings with this on it. That's a good sauce.
Yeah, it's almost like honey garlic.
It'll be good in a stir fry.
It is honey garlic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Or is it honey mustard?
No, it's honey garlic.
my tongue still works. That's good.
Honey garlic. It's like honey
It's
garlic.
almost like a hot sauce.
You guys should try this shit. It's like a sauce, but it's hot.
I think this has been my favorite one so far, but it's like the pepper's definitely catching up with me. Like my tongue is quite spiced.
Mm-hmm.
Spiced.
Yeah.
It's busy.
We're definitely not getting like a full palate cleanse between each one.
I'm getting no palate cleanse. I want it all to build up until I have to puss out and drink that gross cow tit juice.
Fun fact, tits.
Okay, so Desmond Morris framed many features of human behavior in the context of evolution at a time when cultural explanations were more orthodox. For example, Morris wrote that the intense human pair bond evolved so that men who were out hunting could trust that their mates back home were not having sex with other men, and suggested the possibility that sparse body hair evolved because the nakedness helped intensify pair bonding by increasing tactile pleasure.
That's interesting.
So Morris was staunchly anti-establishment and hated the church. So in conclusion, Desmond Morris was an Oxford-educated atheist zoologist, which brings me to my first connection. Another Oxford-educated atheist, famed evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins.
Boo.
Boo.
So yeah,
as you were saying.
Boo. In his 1986 bestseller, The Blind Watchmaker, Dawkins argues against the watchmaker analogy, an argument for the existence of supernatural creator based on the complexity of living organisms. Instead, he describes evolutionary processes as analogous to a blind watchmaker, in that reproduction, mutation, and selection are unguided by any designer. In what is most likely his most controversial book, 2006's The God Delusion, Dawkins contends that a supernatural creator almost certainly does not exist, and that religious faith is a delusion. It's a good read, and I recommend you pick up a copy or not, because we're getting a lot of booze here. Commentary on Dawkins.
He's a dick.
He sucks.
Yeah, we're allowed to criticize the author, even though we agree with some general beliefs that he has.
He's a very good science communicator when he's talking about evolution. When he gets to talking about
women
social
social issues and
Gender and
half the
sexuality.
population,
Women.
Yeah.
Like, he's written some good books on evolution. I wouldn't listen to his opinions on almost anything else.
This is probably going to be the most simplest one for you to answer, but what if you're wrong?
Well, what if I'm wrong? I mean, anybody could be wrong. We could all be wrong about the flying spaghetti monster and the pink unicorn and the flying teapot. You happen to have been brought up, I would presume, in the Christian faith. You know what it's like not to believe in a particular faith because you're not a Muslim, you're not a Hindu. Why aren't you a Hindu? Because you happen to have been brought up in America, not in India. If you'd been brought up in India, you'd be a Hindu. If you were brought up in Denmark in the time of the Vikings, you'd be believing in Wotan and Thor. If you were brought up in classical Greece, you'd be believing in Zeus. If you were brought up in Central Africa, you'd be believing in the great Juju up the mountain. There's no particular reason to pick on the Judeo-Christian God in which, by the sheerest accident, you happen to have been brought up, and ask me the question, what if I'm wrong? What if you're wrong about the great Juju at the bottom of the sea?
That's the end of the little Dawkins segment, so we're going to go for another fucking sauce.
Are we getting out of the level 4s?
No, there's one more level 4, I think.
The difficulty here is that the Scoville unit is actually, like, scientifically replicable. It's a certain percentage of the amount of capsaicin or other heat-producing compounds. But it's also expensive to test for. So in this case, I can see why they would do a bespoke scale of this is a 4, this is a 12. However, it does lead to a little bit of inconsistency.
Okay, so this is Maritime Madness Sandbar Sauce, Cayenne Garlic Hot Sauce.
That one smells good.
It smells really
Sandbar sauce. So, like, if you want some spicy fish.
It smells garlicky, but
yeah,
it's
like
going to hurt.
a bit of garlic, a little bit of, like, spicy, what's the Thai chili
Like
sauce?
a
bird's eye?
Like Thai chili.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, I get that out of
this
that.
This is a fairly simple sauce. The only ingredients are cayennes, vinegar, water, fresh garlic, spices, and salt.
That's delicious.
Oh, wow.
Would be great on shrimp.
Really good. Yeah, on seafood, this would be a really good sauce.
That was not hot, though.
No,
Might
it's
sneak up on you.
damn tasty.
That was really good.
Yeah,
I
that's
really
awesome.
enjoyed that one.
The heat is a slow burn. Kind of catches up to you, but it's not intense or anything.
It's not terribly oppressive. The flavor definitely pokes through, and it's good and garlicky. Like it would definitely be good on seafood.
Yeah. I've liked all 4 of them so far. I'm really happy with this.
These are fantastic.
I'm happy that I got to try these.
I can't believe Maritime Madness sent us so much fucking shit.
I know.
My God, what a good sponsor.
Like, literally, probably a couple $100 worth of stuff. Like, those bottles are probably $10 each.
Yeah, like they're like legit sized bottles. They're not like the little weenie tasters.
We love you.
We do.
I checked online, and you can buy like 2-liter bottles of the sauce.
Yeah, like restaurant-sized bottles.
So
of
if you're a fan of this, maybe get a sampler, and if you like the samples, then maybe get a 2-liter bottle from Maritime Madness. MaritimeMadness.com. That's their website.
Yeah, and everything on their website is organized by spiciness. So if you go to their like shop now link, you can shop by heat, starting by like really hot stuff, medium hot, and not too hot. You can also shop by the hot sauce family. Simple hot sauces, classic hot sauces, fire candy hot sauces, and red clay hot sauces.
Yeah.
Okay.
That shit for
So Richard Dawkins.
4 a.m.
Richard Dawkins was born in Nairobi, Kenya in 1941. At the time, Kenya, like much of Africa, was under British colonial rule. The colony and protectorate of Kenya, commonly known as British Kenya or British East Africa, was part of the British Empire in Africa. It was established when the former East Africa Protectorate was transformed into a British Crown colony in 1920. Technically, the colony of Kenya referred to the interior lands, while a 16-kilometer coastal strip, nominally on lease from the Sultan of Zanzibar, was the Protectorate of Kenya, but the two were controlled as a single administrative unit. The colony came to an end in 1963 when a black majority government was elected for the first time and eventually declared independence as Kenya.
The garden party at Government House was an informal farewell to British rule in Kenya. At Nairobi, the Duke of Edinburgh and Mr. Kenyatta received the freedom of the city. At the Uhuru Stadium, the Articles of Independence were handed by the Duke to the country's Prime Minister. At midnight, the Union Jack was lowered for the last time, and Kenya ceased to be a colony and became independent. She remains in the Commonwealth. It was estimated that 250,000 people witnessed the moving ceremony. Then it was as though someone had said, "Let joy be unconfined." Uninhibited tribal dancing took over. No one can say that Africans make the mistake of taking their pleasure sadly. Good luck to Kenya in her new role as an independent nation.
And with that, another fucking sauce.
My Facebook feed is full of Maritime Madness ads now.
Attaboy.
Actually,
it will be.
It will be.
It is. It already is.
So we do have a Patreon. You can join it for various prices, various packages. You can join our respective fan clubs for $9, or rather $6.66. Any amounts appreciated. It goes towards supporting independent media. And if you do join one of our fan clubs, we'll send you a neat little something in the mail. So we're at patreon.com/ovpod, or check out our website, ovpod.ca, and all our links are there, including links to our merch, which is sweet.
And if you're a company out there and you want us to suck your dick for an episode, if your product's half decent and you send us some free stuff, just listen to this. We're going in deep.
We're simping for Maritime Madness here. Like,
just do know that if your product is terrible, we will tell you your product is terrible because we have zero filter.
Yeah. Okay. So this sauce, which is still a 4, is the Maritime Madness Wicked Buffalo East Coast Hot Sauce.
I got the big dollop.
Oh, that's got some zing to it.
This is good.
Mm-hmm.
I love this.
Tasteful to start.
Very flavorful. Very it's got that buffalo.
Yeah, it does.
It's got a big wall of that buffalo flavor to it.
Yeah, walks in the door like Kramer. Yeah.
Fuck, that's a good sauce.
I'm beginning to worry about the sharp escalation. If we know that the highest one we have here is a 12,
yeah,
and we've had 5, or was that 6? 4s?
Fuck.
Like, we're going to escalate suddenly, right?
Gotta lull you into a false sense of security first.
What's the next one for a number?
5. It comes after 4.
Yeah.
6. We're moving up to a 6.
I'm starting to get arrogant.
So we're talking about Kenya now. Kenya's main export is tea. Tea is an aromatic beverage prepared by pouring hot or boiling water over cured or fresh leaves of the Camellia sinensis, an evergreen shrub native to China, as well as other East and Southeast Asian countries, and apparently Kenya. After water, tea is the most widely consumed drink in the world. There are many different types of tea. Some have a cooling, slightly bitter, and astringent flavor, while others have vastly different profiles that include sweet, nutty, floral, or grassy notes. Tea has a stimulating effect in humans, primarily due to its caffeine content. Kenyan tea has a distinct amber brownish color and what is described as a brisk or full-bodied flavor. This refers to a robust flavor that can stand up well with milk, as tea is often drunk in the United Kingdom. Kenyan tea creates a richer infusion than poorer quality teas, which can leave you with a light or weak cup of tea. Physically speaking, tea has properties of both a solution and a suspension. It is a solution of all the water-soluble compounds that have been extracted from the tea leaves, such as polyphenols and amino acids, but is also a suspension when all of the insoluble components are considered, such as the cellulose in the tea leaves.
Fun fact, tea comes from Camellia sinensis. But if it's not specifically that plant, it is a tisane.
Good to know. Glad you're on that.
Or like an herbal infusion, like chamomile. It's not actually tea.
Do you guys leave the bag in?
Yes.
You take the bag out.
I leave the bag in.
Leave it in.
It depends on what I'm drinking.
You got to get those amino acids.
Like if it's like an Earl Grey or like an English breakfast, I take the bag out. But if it's like peppermint or like whatever kind of herbal tea, I leave it in.
When you guys get to hell, we only ever have second-use tea bags, so it's already gone through one cycle of being tea.
Oh, no.
So the tea is always a little bit weak, and I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure you can taste the saliva.
Filger had some pretty good peppermint tea earlier today.
I use my Keurig for everything.
It was a really good tea. Like it was a solid tea. It was really bold, very pepperminty. It really worked well. I woke up, I had a bit of a cough, tickle in the throat. Not COVID though. I'm COVID negative. But it seems to have put that to bed. And Filger also loves his tea. Like we would spend hours and hours and hours at the Grasswood Esso just outside of Saskatoon here.
Amir might be wondering why we dragged him back here to see a brown jar. But this jar has a very unusual tale to tell.
Jars like this were made in southern China by the thousands every day. These were like the Tupperware of their time.
These ordinary jars were mass-produced in China to transport goods across Asia's thriving trade routes. Most didn't survive the journey. But this jar made it to Japan in the late 1300s and was put to use storing a valuable delicacy, tea. Around that time, tea drinking had become an extremely important ritual in the upper reaches of Japanese society.
This was a custom that was practiced in particular by the ruling warrior class. The people we know sometimes as samurai were the ones who, as the rulers of the country, popularized the drinking of tea.
The samurai embraced tea drinking as a cultured dimension to their personas as military conquerors, and they turned it into a competition.
They practiced it much like many people practice drinking wine today. They test the aroma and compare the flavor and try to guess where the wine was made. So there were tea drinking contests in the 14th century.
Wow.
And they'd have to write down which plantation they thought the tea had been grown in.
Okay, so this next sauce, which is a burn rate of 6, we're up from a 4, is Maritime Madness Mustard Pickle Secret Weapon Hot Sauce.
Wait, so they just skipped 5?
Yeah, they skipped 5.
I mean, they skipped 1, 2, and 3 as
This
well.
one looks thicker than the last ones.
Apparently it's chunky. It
smells like mustard.
There's a lot of particulate in it. I'm staring at the bottle right now. I must credit Maritime Madness, though, for their packaging, because all their sauces that I've seen so far come in these squeezy bottles with a little nozzle on the end, which makes them way easier to apply than normal hot sauces that are in glass bottles.
And easier to boof, too.
Yes. This is that. I don't want to know that.
It smells like a spicy mustard.
It smells very mustardy.
Kicks ass.
Like a sweet mustard
That's
pickle.
fucking good. Oh, that would be good on a fucking corned beef on rye sandwich.
Yes.
Dijon.
Hot dogs.
I spicy
dogs. Holy shit.
Yeah, this is a hot sauce to make a fancy hot dog.
Yeah,
This is really good.
Like a sweet relish.
I would do this one with, I think, maybe the honey garlic, just a little bit of honey garlic on a hot dog or on a smoky or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we need to do hot dogs next time for poison.
Fuck yeah.
And we could put this stuff on it and just have at her.
I don't eat meat.
We can get a vegetarian dog.
It's
the
soy
same.
They're
dogs.
gross.
There's some really good ones.
We need to discuss good ones.
Tofurkey dogs are really good.
Are they?
Yeah, dude.
Our cats, which usually like to kick the shit out of each other, are just sitting, dissociating next to each other. This is progress.
Now, is this kindness, or is the kitty passively aggressively trying to get Pud to leave so she can have the corner?
Could be having a shit.
Okay. All right, moving on. One of my favorite tea-related activities is the traditional tea party. The most famous tea party is the Boston Tea Party.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Good segue. The Boston Tea Party was an American political and mercantile protest by the Sons of Liberty in Boston, Massachusetts on the 16th of December, 1773. The target was the Tea Act of May 10th, 1773, which allowed the British East India Company to sell tea from China in American colonies without paying taxes, apart from those imposed by the Townshend Acts. The Sons of Liberty strongly opposed the taxes in the Townshend Act as a violation of their rights. Protesters, some disguised as American Indians, destroyed an entire shipment of tea sent by the British India Company. The demonstrators boarded the ships and threw the chests of tea into Boston Harbor. The British government responded harshly, and the episode escalated into the American fucking Revolution. The Tea Party became an iconic event of American history, and since then, other political protests, such as the Tea Party movement, have referred to themselves as historical successors of the Boston protest of 1773.
That's where the saying, no taxation without representation comes from, right?
On the Wikipedia article for the Boston Tea Party, on the sidebar, it says, resulted in intolerable acts.
Now, I'm a pedantic little bitch, so, like, is the seawater in Boston Harbor hot enough to steep the tea to any level?
No.
Oh, well.
No.
Oh, well.
Not a real tea. It's a metaphorical tea party. I wanted it to be both. Oh.
Actually, it was a tea party because lots of people were on HRT and they had they all had their shots that day, and then they got.
That makes sense.
They went and the whole throwing the tea into the harbor totally unrelated to the fact that it was a tea party.
Yeah, no soy boys in that protest.
22% of the tea dumped over the side in the Boston Tea Party was green tea.
Oh,
only 22%.
It was worth 30% of the value of the shipment.
In the 1770s, one of the most valuable commodities in the Western world was tea. Tea was new, it was exotic, exactly the kind of thing that's easy to sell. But maybe not that easy. Because by 1773, decreased sales left the British East India Company with a surplus of over 17 million pounds of tea just sitting and rotting in warehouses in England. The country's biggest and most important company was in serious trouble. Normally, British tea merchants sold tea to American traders in London at a markup, who would then sell the tea to colonists. The British government thought, why are we using American merchants to sell our tea when we can just ship it there ourselves? So they cut out the middleman by passing the Tea Act of 1773, which allowed the British East India Company to ship and sell their tea directly to the colonies at a lower cost. The Brits were heavily in debt from the French and Indian War, and the colonies became their own private ATM of sorts. A few years earlier, Parliament passed the Townshend Acts, which taxed items that colonists relied on: lead, glass, paper, paint, and of course, tea. The backlash was so severe that the British repealed all the Townshend Acts, except for one, the tea tax. Colonial tea merchants were furious. Not only had the Tea Act taken away their source of income, but they would still be taxed through the roof to buy their own tea. Colonists had to take matters into their own hands. December 16th, 1773. Americans fought back by boycotting British tea entirely. That night, a group of about 60 Bostonians called the Sons of Liberty, wearing Mohawk headdresses and war paint, boarded 3 British East India Company trading ships and dumped 342 chests of tea into the Boston Harbor. The Boston Tea Party was celebrated across the colonies as a symbol of defiance against the tyrannical British rule.
On that note, how about another sauce? Can I make an appeal to all of you? And this is something that we'll decide by consensus. We're currently consuming this sauce at a rate of 1 milliliter per cracker. And my humble suggestion and prayer is that as we get into the hotter ones, that we reduce to 0.5 milliliter per cracker.
Negative.
I want to go big or go home.
Either going up or going down.
Rejected.
I'm shitting blood tomorrow anyway, so it's all
Going
good.
up, staying level.
I've been overruled.
You have been.
I was hoping you were going to ask to double it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of where I thought you were going.
No.
No.
No. Okay, so the hot sauce we're going for now with a burn rate of 6 is the Maritime Madness Pirates Brew Chipotle Garlic Hot Sauce.
Chipotle.
Oh, that
It's going to be nice
exciting.
and smoky.
It smells really
Those are
good.
good sounding words. Whoever your marketing guy is, you're making my mouth water. You're doing a good job.
Smoky.
That smells real smoky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
That's a hot
That is
barbecue sauce.
very smoke forward. It tastes like a forest fire in my mouth.
It's delicious.
Ah,
Like a good peated scotch.
yeah, I don't know what you would put this on. Souvlaki.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
could even do it a little
Make
bit
some
on,
kebabs.
do it on a roast. Put a little bit on a roast as part of your wet dry rub.
Like a burger or something.
No.
I would like mix this into my burger meat while I was making a burger.
Oh,
I do that with liquid smoke, and I think this would be really good too. Toss that in there instead.
This one is very different from the previous ones that we tried.
It's a lot bolder.
It's getting there.
It's warmer.
Apparently, I was a smoker for too long because I don't taste the smoke.
I mean, Chipotles are just ripened jalapenos that have been smoked and dried, so not surprising that they're smoking.
Don't worry, they put it out, though. It's fine.
There's a couple of small embers still burning in the hot sauce bottle.
Yeah, that's what that is.
The Tea Party movement was an American fiscally conservative political movement within the Republican Party. Members of the movement called for lower taxes and for a reduction of the national debt and federal budget deficit through decreased government spending. The movement supported small government principles and opposed government-sponsored universal health care. The Tea Party movement has been described as a popular constitutional movement composed of a mixture of libertarian, right-wing populist, and conservative activism. It has sponsored multiple protests and supported various political candidates since 2009. According to the American Enterprise Institute, various polls in 2013 estimated that slightly over 10% of Americans identified as part of the movement. Tea Party activists have expressed support for Republican politicians Sarah Palin, Dick Armey, Michelle Bachmann, Marco Rubio, and Ted Cruz.
Apparently, the Tea Party movement do call themselves teabaggers.
Oh, no.
Not even kidding.
When I was in grade 11 English class, we had a really, really old he was old as sin. Big stoner. He was great. And he was telling us about that and said they identify as teabaggers. So he pulls it up on the smart board and Googles teabaggers. And we're like, no. And he's like, yeah, you guys shut up. I know what I'm doing. And I think you can guess what happened when it's like 2009 and someone Googles teabaggers. That's what you get. I'm sure. He's like, oh, shit, and turns that off. It's like, yeah, man, what did you think was going on?
Warned you.
Yeah. We're like, that's why we were screaming, don't Google teabaggers.
Yeah. What should we call ourselves? The Fudge Packing Union. Register the website.
TM.
There's actually a bunch of pictures of people in the Tea Party movement with tea bags hanging off of their hats, including wearing tricorder hats with
like
tea bags on them.
When you said tricorn hats, I was imagining like a Mexican hat made of tortilla chips with a
dip in the middle of the hat. Yeah.
What's a tricorder hat? Can you bring up a photo?
Really bad Star Trek reference. Tricorder is the
a Jack Sparrow hat.
Bloop, bloop.
A tricorder is the device they use to test things and do whatnot.
Okay.
So it's a tricorder hat, but it's not tricorder, it's tricorn. Because it has 3 corns. Look at it.
That's what I thought. It was just like...
Look at that hat.
But you could probably still put some salsa in the middle of that and eat your tortilla chips, you know?
Probably.
I mean, it's not made out of tortilla chips, but you could still use it for like a dip bowl on your head.
And if your guac is 1% felt, I mean, whatever. It's fine.
Exactly.
Who hasn't eaten a little felt in their life? Go outside.
Touch some grass.
Eat some felt.
Eat some felt.
Eat a felt hat. That's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, what do you mean? You haven't eaten a whole felt hat yet? Come on. We've all been to college.
Many were jolted into action by economic dislocation. That's what motivated Diana Reimer and her husband Don. Job loss and the housing downturn have led toward an increasingly distrustful view of the government.
Well, guess what? I'm closing my bank account. I'm taking all my $15 out of the bank.
Yeah, I'll leave mine in there, huh?
You want to leave your $15?
Dawn was recently pushed into semi-retirement, and their home in the Philadelphia suburbs lost a large portion of its value. They currently owe more than the house is worth.
The realtor told me you'll only be about $30,000 short. I said, oh, really?
They gradually got more and more politically active. driven initially by concerns about the bailout of Wall Street. Eventually, Diana even quit her job selling sportswear at the local Macy's to focus on it full-time.
And I said, we'll just make out the best we can.
Many people got involved because it was not political. It was just to get out there and get your frustrations out, holding a sign and cheering and saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
The Reimers feel disconnected from their community, and in the Tea Party, they found a new bond.
The neighborhoods were different at that time. The values aren't as well honored today.
It's amazing to see the American people coming together, just like a big family.
They now spend over 10 hours a day organizing for various events and trying to bring supporters on board.
How about if you and I get together for a cup of coffee?
We can do that.
And there are many like them across the country.
I know my talking points.
The challenge is molding this into a cohesive and durable political force.
I see these folks as pretty much the National Guard now. They will go back to their day jobs, but they will have their activism at the ready, and they will stay in touch with one another.
The next big goal for the movement are tax day rallies across the country to protest big government.
And with that, it's time for another sauce. So all these bottles of Maritime Madness are 125 mils, which is a shit ton of hot sauce. I have no idea how we're going to eventually finish all of this.
I will take some home.
Yeah,
Hot
definitely.
dogs.
Definitely. So this next hot sauce, I like Richard had said, the marketing genius behind this. This is a burn rate of 8, so we're up by 2 now. This is called Maritime Madness Jerk From Away Jamaican-style hot sauce.
Oh, yes. I love jerk. You heard me. I stand by what I said.
Jerk from away just sounds like getting jacked off by somebody with really long forearms.
What?
I can't help what my brain does when it hears words.
You can smell the
This one
jerk.
just smells hot.
It could also be one of using those like telecommunication devices where you stick your dick in it and someone else plays with it from cross country.
The jerk from a farm.
I was gonna. I couldn't quite articulate that, but that's what came into my head too. But thank you for putting that into words.
You're welcome.
It's getting hot now.
That's a good one.
This smells really good.
Yeah,
It'd be great on chicken.
my arrogance is fading.
Holy shit.
It's a little warmer.
Yeah, that one's. I enjoyed the flavor right up front, but it's got a lot more heat.
It's got a lot more heat to it.
Tastes like cleaner.
I think
Oh,
your
yeah, there's that
mouth is
heat.
broken.
Fuck.
Sorry.
This
You do
is
make
hot.
really good food.
Oh yeah, that burns.
That's gonna.
Philger is dying over there.
There is a thing about I believe it's cumin that's in jerk sauce that sometimes just doesn't hit right. No one else is talking because everyone else is dying.
Oh no, I'm still fine. I'm still
Leon,
fine.
we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it together.
Leon did provide us with emesis bags, which is something to puke into.
Now that it's getting
Ood's diving into the sour cream here.
Yeah.
finger that.
Jabs a whole finger into the sour cream and it just like licks his finger.
I can spot and control the spice.
Okay, so that was definitely a jerk sauce. Tasted just like a Jamaican jerk sauce.
Oh, that was good.
Very flavor forward, but definitely a hot finish to it. I'm starting to hurt now.
Yeah.
God bless.
Gross.
So I'm gonna move on in the episode. So we just talked about the Tea Party
I can see the sweat on your brow from here.
and the candidates they endorsed. So in 2016, Ted Cruz ran for president of the United States, placing second behind Donald Trump in the Republican primaries.
To be fair, this is exactly how Ted Cruz makes me feel. So
The competition for the Republican presidential nomination between Trump and Cruz was deeply acrimonious and characterized by a series of public personal attacks. While Cruz initially declined to endorse Trump's campaign once he won the nomination, he became a staunch Trump supporter during the latter's clusterfuck of a presidency. After the January 2021 Capitol insurrection attempt, Cruz provoked widespread political and popular backlash for objecting to the certification of Joe Biden's victory in the 2020 presidential election and giving credence to the totally bullshit claim that the election was stolen from Trump.
Leon's over there, like,
So-
I can see the tears welling up in his eyes.
It's hilarious.
He's gonna die.
Mr. Olson, how many people have been charged with crimes of violence in connection with the events on January 6th?
Senator, I'm not sure exactly how many have been charged with crimes of violence. I know that there are many.
Okay, how many have been charged with nonviolent crimes?
I don't have the numbers of people charged, whether at the state or federal level. I know that
Okay,
there have
how many people are currently incarcerated concerning the events of January 6th?
I don't know the number of people incarcerated. Again, I know that I
How
do
many?
have,
Okay, let me ask you that. Look, we have limited time, so I don't want you to filibuster. You either know the answer or you don't. How many people have been placed in solitary confinement concerning the events of January 6th?
I don't have any information about that, Senator.
You know, Mr. Olson, I will say it was sad. Senator Lee just asked you about this. Back in June of 2021, Senator Lee and I and two other senators sent a letter to the Department of Justice asking these questions, asking about the differential prosecutions. Let me ask you, during 2020, Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots all across the country, there were over 700 police officers injured by Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots. How many people have been charged with crimes of violence concerning those riots all across the country?
I don't have information on how many. I would say, hundreds of people have been charged, as Ms. Sanborn.
You would say, but you don't know. You know, when we asked you why the Biden Department of Justice has such wildly disparate standards, going after January 6th, targeting some people who committed crimes of violence, and anyone who commits crimes of violence should be prosecuted, but also targeting a lot of nonviolent individuals. We asked you, why is it that you won't target the rioters and terrorists who firebomb cities across this country? The answer we got from the Department of Justice was shameful. On October 22nd, you came back and said, quote, "The department has dedicated investigative and prosecutorial resources commensurate with the significance of these events." By significance, I guess it means the political benefit to the Biden White House. And I will tell you, there are a great many Americans who are understandably deeply concerned about the politicization of the Department of Justice under President Joe Biden. It has been 218 days since we sent you that letter. DOJ refused to answer the letter. Today, when Senator Lee and I asked you about it, your answer to every damn question is, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. You're under oath. You may believe at the Department of Justice that you are unaccountable to the American people, but that is not the case. And the wildly disparate standards are unacceptable. Ms. Sandberg, I want to turn to the FBI. How many FBI agents or confidential informants actively participated in the events of January 6th?
Sir, I'm sure you can appreciate that I can't go into the specifics of sources and methods.
Did any FBI agents or confidential informants actively participate in the events of January 6th? Yes or no?
Sir, I can't answer that.
Did any FBI agents or confidential informants commit crimes of violence on January 6th?
I can't answer that, sir.
Did any FBI agents or FBI informants actively encourage and incite crimes of violence on January 6th?
Sir, I can't answer that.
Ms. Sandburn, a lot of Americans are concerned that the federal government deliberately encouraged illegal and violent conduct on January 6th. My question to you, and this is not an ordinary law enforcement question, this is a question of public accountability. Did federal agents or those in service of federal agent actively encourage violent and criminal conduct on January 6th?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
Thank you.
And with that, it's time to move on to more sauce.
There were two. We've had one that was an 8, 2 that were 6s, and 5 4s.
Yeah.
Oh, my nose is just running like
all
crazy.
of the 4s were really good. Yeah. I would happily recommend them to anyone if they're looking for a hot sauce.
Fuck.
Yeah. The 6s were also good. They were definitely getting into the spicy zone, and that 8, the Jamaican jerk one, was it's hot. It's getting hot now.
At what point should I phone Maritime Madness again to complain?
Never. I'm like
maybe
excited to keep going.
Maybe do call them right after the very last one. Just be like, hi, we got done.
Yeah, I'll finish the episode with a phone call to Maritime Madness.
Some poor receptionist has to put up with this shit.
Like, man, we close in 5 minutes. I don't want to listen to you.
Go away.
You'll be hearing from our vampire lawyers. If your daughter agrees to it, we can kill your parents.
Wow. Is that going to be a throwback or forward, I wonder?
I hope I edit this 1 second so that it's a throwback, or it's not going to make any sense.
I want you to know that they are likely to be closed because it is currently 4:30 in PEI.
Should I phone them now?
No.
Leave them alone.
Leave them alone.
They'll just be like, actually, just send them back. We don't want you to have them.
Trying to get shit.
You are too high maintenance.
Vomit that sauce up, give it back.
Maybe the receptionist went to the boss's room and she was all like, "Yeah, this is a Culte Veritatis pasta," and they're like, "Wait, no, you need to pull a double shift, stay all night."
They may call.
We have to know.
And he's just pacing back and forth, over his receptionist's shoulder, waiting for that phone to ring.
Like the time you phoned the homeopathic pills place, eh?
I took a lethal amount of homeopathic sleeping pills, if they were actual sleeping pills, but they have no active ingredient because they're homeopathic. And we phoned...
I phoned the company and said that my friend Ood had ingested an entire bottle, and they phoned back and they're like, "Yeah, nothing's going to happen."
Yeah, they're like, don't worry.
Get
He should
him
be
some
fine.
water. And
That's great.
just as long as he's conscious, but if anything does happen, please call 911. But... just get him some water.
Yeah.
He should be okay.
That's great.
And I think they even spun it where they were like, and that's why our products are good, is because they're very safe.
Oh yeah.
You can eat the whole bottle and
they're so safe that they don't even.
Nothing will happen.
Your body will know the difference. It will know that you want to sleep, but not that anything else wants to.
Exactly.
Okay, guys, the next sauce has a burn rate of 8. Again, it's Maritime Madness Smokin' Sou'wester Habanero Garlic Hot Sauce. Oh, fuck.
Is that the one that's named after the fancy hat?
Yes.
Okay, can you say that again? I want to
Yes.
savor that name a little bit.
Maritime Madness Smokin' Sou'wester Habanero Garlic Hot Sauce.
It smells really garlicky.
I like the name.
Radio Demon, you mentioned before what a Serrero is. Can you...
I'm sorry, I mentioned a what?
I forget the word, and I just tried anyway.
That's great.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
This made me my favorite one. Oh, but it burns.
The heat
That's good too.
is slow.
Yeah, I don't have heat yet.
It creeps in. Oh, there it is.
It's kind of on the back of your tongue there. I like that.
Yeah, kind of a throaty burn as opposed to a tongue burn.
Not even really getting a burn.
No, it'll come.
Yeah, it's riding along, coming up slow.
Yeah, it tastes like candy and pickles.
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Like a train.
Were you
coming
asking
into
about
the
a
station?
A sou'wester?
Yeah, I saw Wester. The exact
That's
word I said
a
the first
storm.
time.
So
Like a nor'easter.
Isn't this a Wester like a hat?
So a nor'easter is something like a hurricane, but just big winds from the northeast. A sou'wester is a hat.
Oh, yeah, it's that hat, that yellow hat that protects your back of your neck from rain.
A sou'wester is a traditional form of collapsible oilskin rain hat that is longer in the back than the front to protect the neck fully.
Mullet
A gutter front brim is sometimes featured.
Can you put it on the screen?
Fuck you. Yes, I can. I'm most happy to do so.
Oh,
nice. I want one.
Oh, God.
My grandpa had one of those. I didn't know what it was.
Okay, so Ted Cruz was born in Calgary, Alberta, and held Canadian citizenship until 2016. Calgary is situated at the confluence of the Bow River and the Elbow River in southern Alberta, in the transitional area between the Rocky Mountain foothills and the Canadian prairies, about 80 kilometers east of the Front Ranges of the Canadian Rockies, roughly 300 kilometers south of the provincial capital of Edmonton, and approximately 240 kilometers north of the Canada-United States border. Calgary is served by the Calgary International Airport. One of the airport's runways, 17 left/35 right, is 14,000 feet long, making it the longest runway in Canada. During the time of the U.S. Space Shuttle program, this runway was designated as an emergency landing site, one of 7 such sites in Canada.
Fuck yeah.
Another such Canadian Space Shuttle emergency landing site is Gander International Airport in Newfoundland and Labrador, and with that... another sauce.
North of Calgary is Balzac. This gave me the giggles every time I learned about it.
Is Gander the place where the 9/11?
I'm coming to it. Don't spoil it.
Ooh.
He's gonna cut you, man.
Oh no!
Just gonna put a
And he knows where I sleep too, several feet from him.
So are they still designated emergency shuttle landing sites, given we don't have a shuttle anymore?
No, they no longer are now that there's no shuttle.
So they took that away from them.
It was taken away from them.
Never forget what they took away from you.
Yeah.
True.
What happened to our shuttle?
It was retired.
Yeah.
And now we use the SpaceX Dragon and the Russian Soyuz capsules for getting people up to the ISS.
Yeah, this is
Are we still going to use the Soyuz capsule, all things considered, recently?
You know what? The like Roscosmos, which is the Russian space agency, and NASA tend to operate above international politics. And the way things work on the space station is like no one knows who votes Republican, no one knows who votes Democrat, no one knows about politics or religion generally. Like there's a fraternity of the astronaut corps of the various nations that sort of just get along when it comes to spacefaring things. So whether this war in Ukraine is going to affect the relationship between NASA and Roscosmos, I don't know. It seems to me probably not.
Yeah, NASA had sent out a communication saying that everything's operating as normal.
Yeah.
And, you know, because when you're up in space and everything's literally going to kill you, it's important that people are cooperating, I guess.
For a light amount of context, at the moment we are recording this, Russia has very recently invaded Ukraine, and that whole thing is going on.
Yeah, like this is the week that it happened. I think, like they're coming down on Kyiv. Kyiv, is that?
Kiev.
Yeah.
Kyiv.
It's Kyiv.
Is it Kiev?
Kiev is the Russian pronunciation of
Yeah.
it. See, he didn't want pierogies, now he's calling it Kiev? I don't know. Russian agent.
Yeah, they're surrounding Kyiv, which is the capital of Ukraine, and they stood a night of fire.
U.S. astronauts like Katie Coleman lost their ticket to space in 2011 when the shuttle program ended, and they began relying exclusively on the Russian Soyuz instead. Once aboard, Coleman says it was all about how to work and live with one another.
Space is hard and space is dangerous. And in my experience with our Russian partners, it means sitting down, having a meal together. It means talking about what's hard for you, what's hard for them, and how together we can get this accomplished together. And looking each other in the eye and realizing that we're all about the same thing.
Even this week, Russian cosmonauts continued training at NASA's facility in Houston. And just 3 weeks from now, astronaut Mark Vande Hei is expected to end a record-breaking 355 days in space and return with 2 cosmonauts on a Russian spacecraft landing in Kazakhstan. But unprecedented sanctions against Russia could put Vande Hei's return on hold.
We estimate that we'll cut off more than half of Russia's high-tech imports. It'll degrade their aerospace industry, including their space program.
We had 4 years of goodwill in space, and now in a matter of weeks, it seems to be going up in smoke.
Dmitry Rogozin, head of Russia's space agency and close Putin ally, using Vande Hei's return flight as political leverage in a bizarre video posted on social media, threatening to leave the American behind and detach Russia's segment of the space station altogether. Former NASA astronaut Scott Kelly says he felt compelled to speak up.
This is my first ever, real engagement with someone in that kind of a negative way.
And it happens to be the head of the Russian space program.
Yeah, I was just enraged that the Roscosmos said that, they were going to leave an American crew member behind. I never thought I would ever hear anything so outrageous.
The pair going to bat in an extraordinary war of words on Twitter. Rogozin tweeting out another video of technicians covering up the U.S. and Japanese flags on a Soyuz satellite rocket. Kelly responding in Russian to that tweet, writing, "Without those flags and the foreign exchange they bring in, your space program won't be worth a damn. Maybe you can find a job at McDonald's if McDonald's still exists in Russia." Rogozin firing back with a string of insults, calling the former astronaut a moron and dementia-ridden.
I just looked at it as an opportunity to kind of remind him that people are paying attention to his bluster and to push back on him a little bit and do it in a way that would get his attention.
NASA remains silent on Rogozin's threats to abandon Vande Hei. Russia already announced last year it would pull out of the space station as early as 2025. Scott, if you were Mark Vande Hei right now, would you be concerned about returning on the Russian Soyuz?
The people at the Russian Space Agency, I've known many of them for well over 2 decades. I trust them. I've literally trusted them with my life before. The events of the last few weeks have told us that, we need to prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
Americans and Russians working together out of this world, setting an example for all of us about what could be back here on Earth and what's possible up in the cosmos as humanity continues to reach for the stars.
Okay, so this sauce this sauce is a burn rate of 9, so we're up by 1. This is the Maritime Madness Moonshine Habanero Hot Sauce.
Ooh, this is the one I was excited about.
Doesn't smell like anything.
Needs more moonshine.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm. Filger took his headset off. So he's going to die.
It tastes good, but also it's already hot, and I feel like it's going to get hotter, and it's getting hotter.
Yep, there it is.
Whoop, there it is.
It slaps you in the face as an introduction, and then it just starts pummeling.
What I like about these sauces is that they're very, flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a sauce, and all it is just straight burn.
Oh, yeah.
But this stuff has, a lot of flavor backing it, and it's... I like it because it's hot, but there's still flavor.
Oh, it's getting dangerous. It hurts so much.
I don't even think that one was as spicy as the last one.
It was.
My eyebrows are sweating.
It comes on with way less gracefully than the last one.
God, how many are left?
There's so much more burn on my tongue on this one.
Yeah, that's the thing.
How
The
many?
other ones are real slow burn. This
3
one
left?
is just like a...
Okay.
Here's some spice.
The next sauce is going to be the Brittle.
Jalapeno Brittle.
Okay, fuck.
Brittle
All right.
break.
Paper towel, please.
I'm going to keep going.
Do remember, everyone, to not touch your eyes or face as much as you can. You shouldn't have any on your hands, but...
Okay.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah. All right, I'm carrying on. On September 11th, 2001, with the United States airspace closed because of the terrorist attacks, Gander International played host to 38 airliners, totaling 6,122 passengers and 473 crew. As part of Operation Yellow Ribbon, Gander International received more flights than any other Canadian airport involved in the operation, apart from Halifax. A major reason that Gander received so much traffic was its ability to handle large aircraft, and because Transport Canada and Nav Canada instructed pilots coming from Europe to avoid major airports in central Canada, such as Toronto Pearson and Montreal Dorval.
You can see how this gesture of gratitude is just emotionally hitting Leon.
Jesus.
The reception these travelers received in the central Newfoundland communities near the airport has been one of the most widely reported happy stories surrounding that day, and was dramatized in the musical and subsequent film Come From Away. One of the few airlines still operating out of Gander International is Air Canada Express. Air Canada Express has a brand name under which Jazz Aviation operates feeder flights for Air Canada. They primarily connect smaller cities with Air Canada's domestic hub airports and focus cities, although they offer some point-to-point international service to the United States.
Gander Airport looks to be about the same size as Gander the town. Honestly, it's about the same size.
Well, they got that one long-ass runway that they use as a shuttle emergency site, and they can land big airplanes on it.
Yeah, they don't have streets; they just have runways. Fuck. I live at 324 runway 8.
Yeah. I live on 34 left.
Just minutes after the terror attacks of September 11th, 2001, hundreds of passenger jets racing towards the United States were ordered to land.
Yeah, that's the first medal day.
Hannah and Dennis O'Rourke were on Aer Lingus Flight 105 from Dublin to New York when they were diverted to Gander Airport on the easternmost edge of Canada. Welcome to Gander International. On a typical day, it looks like this. 7 planes in, 7 planes out. But all that changed one Tuesday morning 10 years ago. In a span of just 90 minutes, this little airport was transformed into a major international hub. 38 jumbo jets carrying 6,700 passengers and crew found themselves on Gander's doorstep with nowhere to go and nowhere to stay. How many hotel rooms do you have in Gander?
500. So, and that's sufficient for most of our needs on a day-to-day basis.
So basically you had a problem with about another 5,700 rooms you needed to find.
Yeah, but we knew we'd have no problem with that. We knew our people would come through.
And come through, they did. In a matter of hours, the town of 9,000 had mobilized a volunteer army to assist the plain people, as they were now being called, bringing food, medicine, and clothing to makeshift shelters in local schools and Legion halls. Striking bus drivers returned to work to provide transportation, and the people of Gander opened their homes to thousands of strangers. Beulah Cooper was one of those who offered help.
Well, we went into action. And it was unbelievable how the people opened their hearts and their doors.
For the passengers, who had spent most of that first night on board an airplane, it was only when they disembarked that the magnitude of the day's events finally set in. They were all together in what seemed to be the middle of nowhere.
I think we were just happy to be on the ground at that point, given what we had heard.
I was more concerned about the people, the victims, and I felt quite lucky.
For Hannah and Dennis O'Rourke, the feelings of desperation shared by all Americans hit even closer to home. Their 44-year-old son, Kevin, a New York City fireman, had been one of the first responders at Tower 1 of the World Trade Center.
It was horrible to see on TV what was happening, and I looked at that and I didn't want to alarm her, but I knew nobody coming out of that.
For the days the O'Rourkes were in Gander, Beulah helped them cope.
Beulah would take us out, with her, take a shower, and sit out, have a glass of wine or that. And she kept us going. She kept us going,
2 weeks later, the O'Rourke's worst fears were confirmed. Their son Kevin was one of the nearly 3,000 people killed in New York on 9/11. But 10 years after his untimely death, they credit the generosity of Gander for helping them get through one of their darkest moments.
We're bonded for the rest of our lives, And God bless the people of Gander. They're fantastic. Unbelievable.
And with that, we're moving on, I guess, to this godforsaken peanut brittle.
The heat's kind of slowed down from that last one. That's good. Starting to get sweaty.
Still corners of my tongue.
You guys are all baby.
I am.
I
I'm a
got
tiny
bunch
baby.
right on the tip of my tongue with the last one.
I was raised in hell. This is pretty okay.
I've been flipping my crackers upside down, and I'm not sure if it's a good decision or not.
I've been watching you do that, and I've been thinking that you're a bold man.
I really want to experience the sauce.
Because I've been putting the cracker in upright and then crushing the cracker and letting the sauce come through. And sometimes that has meant that it would, the middle part with a bunch of sauce on it would flip.
Okay, so this is the jalapeno peanut brittle, hey? Yeah?
Oh, hey. Oh, hey. I see. This one tricked me.
That's good.
I was going to be stuck in my teeth forever.
Get toothpick.
I'm going to be shitting fire tonight.
See, now I like spicy candy. Because it's a break from just the other stuff.
So Air Canada Express has a fleet of 114 aircraft, of which 39 are the de Havilland Canada Dash 8-400. The Dash 8 holds the distinction of being my favorite commercial aircraft. So it's a little two-prop job. It was based loosely on the four-engine Dash 7, which had short takeoff and landing capabilities. At some point, de Havilland Canada decided they wanted a larger airliner. I could seat 40 to 60 people with two engines, and thus was born the Dash 8, which does everything the Dash 7 does, except it holds more people, it's quieter, but it lacks short takeoff and landing capabilities. So the largest Dash 8 fleet belongs to Australia's QantasLink, which operates 50 Dash 8s in 3 different models and is based in Mascot, a suburb of Sydney. Also based in Sydney is Australian Television. And with that, we'll move on to the next sauce.
So we're moving up to hot factor 10. We're at 10.
Is it called ghost pepper because it kills people? Or is it because it's white?
It's called ghost pepper because it'll haunt you.
Oh, like 5 hours later in the bathroom, kind of haunting.
Yeah, and then also 5 years later, it'll come back to you all of a sudden.
Oh fuck! Oh no!
I apologize
Thought you escaped.
I apologize to the people from Myanmar, The name Butjolokia, which means Bhutanese pepper. Sorry, Bhutan. That's a different place than I thought. Butjolokia means Bhutanese pepper, but the first element, boot, kind of sounds like boot, which means ghost.
Oh.
So it's literally just a mistake of people not being able to speak Assamese.
Just like people from Greece being called Greeks by the early Romans.
No.
Just mislabeling that stuck, eh?
It's also called a Bizolokia, which means poison chili pepper.
Oh, good.
Oh, fuck.
Shit, why couldn't we just call it that? That sounds like way epic. Poison chili pepper. That's like super metal.
In Bangladesh, it is referred to as the Naga Morich, or Naga pepper.
I fought those in D&D, I think.
Well,
You're going to be fighting them later.
and you can tell.
And I don't have spell slots in real life. I'm fucked.
I'll give you a bardic inspiration.
Oh, good. I'll realize I shouldn't have eaten it.
I'm really proud of how you were boldly facing those crackers earlier. I think
Oh, yeah.
it was really impressive.
Oh, yeah.
I'm honored to fight alongside you.
Oh yeah, I'm brave, but I'm a wuss. So it's gonna be painful.
There is a type of capsicum pepper called the Capsicum pubescens. The species name pubescens refers to the hairy leaves of the pepper.
Oh yeah.
Aw.
Who looked at that and was like, you know what that reminds me of?
Getting hairy leaves where you didn't have hairy leaves before. Oh, yeah.
Okay, guys, so Gio's handing out the next round of crackers. This has got a burn rate of 10. It's Maritime Madness Giver Sauce, Ghost Pepper Hot Sauce.
Remember not to put it on your foreskin. It's very important.
Or your clitoral hood.
Or your clitoral hood.
It smells good. Smells
Excuse me, I am an adult, and if I want fiery genitals, actually I'm ginger, so I'd add double fiery genitals. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That one's a good one.
No word of a lie though. Like a nice mild serrano pepper and stuff. I'll cut it without gloves, and then later, or the next day, I'll masturbate. And it gives just that little warming sensation.
There you go. Life hacks. There you go, people.
That's a good one.
Oh, just the
That's smooth. Smooth is what I would call that. I think that's smooth.
I think so too.
That's got some kick.
Is this what smooth feels like?
This is what smooth feels like.
Being in the center of a house fire?
I didn't get much taste out of it, and it's mostly just hot.
Yeah, we're starting to get into fiberglass territory.
The heat is now starting to hit me a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty okay.
Yeah.
Filger is dead.
Okay, so also based in Sydney is Australian television. In 1991, this national television network hired a British zoologist to host a program called The Animal Contract. That British zoologist was none other than Dr. Desmond Morris. And we have come full circle.
Cruel animal partnerships are an abomination, but benign ones are a joy to behold. And the world would have a narrower horizon and be a much bleaker landscape without them, wouldn't it? Hey, come on, give me the ball. Give me the ball. Come on. Come on. Here we go again. Come on now. Come on. Yeah.
Only if we get to know animals and feel close to them will we continue to care about them. Our fight to protect remote wild animals is laudable, but it's not enough. We need more intimate contact, physical contact, or our children will start to view all animal life as merely another exotic fiction flittering across the television screen. Close without the risk of perpetuating our old tyranny of a long-suffering animal slaves. The answer is by re-examining the terms of every animal contract to make sure that they are as fair as possible.
And with that, all we have left to do is eat some more fucking sauce.
Spicy shit.
Fuck yeah.
That last one was a 10 still?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a 12.
This next one's a 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's the hottest one.
Frig, that's hot.
I will not go quietly into this good night.
Okay, so we're reviving a segment that a lot of people liked called Leon's 3 Sexy Questions. So the sexy questions, oh my God, my mouth is on fire. The 3 sexy questions I picked today has to do with putting your mouth on people's sexy bits.
Before or after the hot sauce?
Before the hot sauce.
After.
So the first question is, and each one of these questions is a 2-parter. Have you ever, and / when you did, how old were you when you put your mouth on a vulva? So when's the first time you cunnilingus-did someone?
I'm going to say 17, I think.
15.
Which is 2 years after I started having sex.
15.
15.
I've never done it. Only had it done.
I feel incredibly shitty because I don't remember who, but like now I'm thinking like maybe it was a swinger like wife or something. No, there had to be. So like I fooled around with the women's growing up. I don't remember.
I was 22. Had sex when I was 17, but didn't give cunnilingus till I was 22.
So when I was birthed out of the pits, within about 5 minutes, I would have been attacked by one of the vulva monsters. So I'd say about 5 minutes.
And they do have teeth down there, right?
Well, mostly teeth, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still vulva though.
Okay, Leon's second sexy question is, have you ever, and if you have, how old were you when you put your mouth on a penis? So when was your first fellatio? I was 21.
Unfortunately not.
30?
14?
I think I was 15 or 16.
I have not.
I also have not.
I was worried I'd be the only one that hasn't.
Like 2021 was the year of the dick.
About 3 minutes after the vulva monster.
And finally, Leon's last of the 3 sexy questions. Have you ever, and if you have, how old were you when you did, put your mouth on an anus? So when was the first time you performed analingus? For me, it has been never.
Never for me.
Same.
Well, I think 18.
We call it tossing the salad, which is really funny when people don't know that they say they like tossed salad.
That's the one time I don't want to find any croutons, you know?
Demon, what do you think? When did we do that? It was like the grand lickening. We like every bit of each other's bodies almost. Like, but that was like,
conical.
Yeah, you and Arthur were gross. I had to watch that from below.
19 or 20?
I'm pretty sure it was when I was 17 again. Like, while I'm down there.
17 again? Isn't that a movie?
I think so.
You did it with Zac Efron?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And his anus is as beautiful as his face. The legends are true. Yeah.
I'd suck mint jelly out of Zac Efron's anus.
I'm not a fan of mint. I'd suck chocolate jelly. Although that'd be a mind fuck, wouldn't it?
At least with mint, it's green, so it's hopefully not the normal color coming out.
Okay, I want to, because we're still waiting on a sauce, I want to throw the sexy questions back a little bit and say, how old were you? So the penis havers in the room, how old were you when you had your first blowjob? I was 17.
Oh, 15.
16.
Yeah, 15.
14.
Okay, and then the vagina havers, how old were you when you first had someone go down on you?
Probably like 22.
14?
Well, that concludes Leon's sexy questions. Hope that was sexy enough for y'all. My mouth is still on fire. And it's about to get so much worse because we're jumping from a 10 to a 12 with this next sauce.
That is sexy.
Hey, Maritime Madness. Thanks for sponsoring us.
Here's a question for the group. This is a consensus-based decision. I'm not proposing that we reduce the amount of sauce that we do, but I am going to suggest that we increase the number of cracker.
I concur.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it the same way I've been doing it. But I
would like an extra cracker.
If you want crackers, go have crackers. Says the guy who's like giving away somebody else's crackers.
Okay, so this one has a burn rate of 12. This is Maritime Madness Ultimate Giver Sauce, Carolina Reaper Hot Sauce.
This is like
this is the hottest pepper in the world. But this is not their hottest sauce yet. Previously, this was the hottest Canadian sauce I was able to find, and it's incredibly hot. But there is one sauce hotter than this, apparently.
That they make.
But
we don't have it.
We have it. We have it in a glass bottle sitting on the table, and we're going to have it after the Patreon shout out.
And it's called Giver Sauce?
This stuff is called Ultimate Giver Sauce.
Is Giver Hard Butt? Is that a Canadian thing that some of our listeners won't know? So like Giver Hard Butt is like try hard.
All she's got.
Yeah.
This has got a really good flavor for the first 2 seconds. It's delicious for a little bit, but not for a long time. Then it gets bad.
Holy shit.
This is hot. This is good.
Food is about to explode. Food just dunked it.
TheCultureTrip.com
delicious.
Jesus.
States that giver is a slang term. It means to give it all you've got when all else fails. From Urban Dictionary, giver. When all else fails, when mere brute force is enough, it is time to grit your teeth and giver. Giver can apply from anything to jamming the throttle in your big block wide open to you and the boys putting a bit of muscle into whatever misguided task you've drunkenly committed to. Giver can be applied to nearly any situation where finesse is no longer a viable option.
Oh fuck. Okay, so who wants? I'm in too much pain. Who wants to do the Patreon appeal?
High five.
I'm fine.
We're fine.
Okay, so you guys give the Patreon appeal then. Do it.
Join our Patreon.
Yeah, join Patreon, eh?
Just do it.
See, that's the thing, eh? Is we're all Canadians, and that's what we do.
Yeah, we recently adjusted things and fuck. We recently adjusted things in the new year, going episodes every 2 weeks, and that allowed us to cover more of our buck, put more stuff on Patreon. So sign up, patreon.com/up. There's gonna be cool. There's us doing Bigfoot erotica. We're probably gonna do more erotica in the future. Us doing Peanuts reviews, episodes a little earlier than normal. Sign up. It hurts. Not you signing up. The capsaicin in my taste buds.
You can sign up for as little as $1 a month or upwards of as much as you'd like to give us. But for the $6.66 tier, you can sign up to one of the hosts. What do we call them?
Filger shirt's coming off.
Filger shirts off.
It's that hot. That hot.
You can be on one of the teams for Team Richard, Team Sage, Team Ood, or Team Leon to show your support for your favorite host.
Clearly, you joined Team Sage.
No, join Team Leon. I'll send you condoms.
Well, you joined Team Sage if you wanted like the most powerful and strong person.
I mean, Team Leon over there is freaking out and chugging milk, and Team Sage is just kind of like, yes, that was lightly spicy.
All my head holes are leaking. Join Team Food.
Someone is fucking Leon now.
There's one more to go. God damn it.
It's unclear if you're enjoying it.
I gotta talk about Mesopotamia after this.
You're so red.
Okay, so this is the last hot sauce.
Henry is dead too.
You haven't really talked in your mic very much. Mostly just turning red.
He's very sweaty. Looks kind of greasy.
Is there more milk, guys, over there?
There's a lot of milk.
So again, just to be clear, we really, really enjoyed all of the level 4s. The 6s were pretty good. The 8 was okay. I don't remember. I think there was a 9, and I don't remember anything that's happened since then.
So the thing with really hot sauce is it's not really meant to be enjoyable. You spilled, Henry, so watch your fingers around your eyes.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. We're good.
I see you wiping your eyes. We don't need that.
Oh fuck!
Dab me.
Just really speaks to the ingenuity and stupidity of humanity. You know, we collected all these hot peppers that have driven away all these other animals through their capsaicins, and we're like, oh, you don't want us to eat us? You want to fucking bet? We're gonna breed you to be even hotter.
Thanks, Maritime Madness. Best episode ever.
Yeah, I've enjoyed everything except for I didn't super like that honey garlic one. It was just a little too sweet, but everything else I've liked the flavor of.
I really like that one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, overall, the spread of sauces they sent us have been really good.
Oh.
I mean, as has been said, like the level 8s were good, but getting up my mouth hurts so bad right now. I've taken my shirt off because I was getting too sweaty with the shirt. Yeah. But yeah, Maritime Madness has been a quality sponsor to us. Thanks, Maritime Madness.
Our next hot sauce is literally just getting hit by pepper spray.
Hey, if we get to 100 patrons, that's still in the books.
Yeah,
Yep.
if we get 100 patrons, Sage is going to pepper spray me, hit me with the bear spray. And I have the bear spray in my room, like it's ready to go. We just need more patrons. Like if there's 100 of you fuckers, I'm going to get hit with bear spray.
And you only have to pledge $1 each, hey?
Currently, we have 58 patrons.
So it's getting dangerously close. Like we're more than halfway there.
I like the idea of Lois Lowry's The Giver being rewritten in a Canadian context, where it's the Giver, but it like.
And it's just the type of giver that you hear on those nights in the city when you get like 9 feet of snow, and you hear people pushing each other out around the block, and you just hear,
Just fucking giver.
that's the giver,
Yeah.
Canadian giver.
It's like that Roald Dahl, or not Roald Dahl, Shel Silverstein book of poetry, The Giver Tree.
Yeah.
The Giver Tree.
Giving her too much, and he ran right into the tree.
Yeah, and his cousin, the Wampin Willow. You know?
Well, you see, I think one day what we should do is we should like really do the heavy Canadian accent, and then everybody would be like, "Oh, look at their cute Canadian accents, eh?" And then it'd be like, "What's this all about?"
Oh yeah, that's
This
a
is
good.
how we talk, you know.
That's a good one. We're gonna go a boot there.
Honestly, though, when you get to Halifax, you got to go to Mark's House. Mark's House is where all the food's at, eh?
You just gotta get in the car. You gotta get in the car and go down the road there.
Great thunder and Jesus.
Lord,
Oh,
thunder,
Newfoundland's in shit shape now, me boys. The economy's gone to shit. All the roads are to hell. We're gonna have to go to Mark's House to get a job, eh?
I tell you, well, once you go too far east, you need a middleman from Nova Scotia to translate, you know?
PEI, it's a good thing you're small enough that I don't know any stereotypes about you, or you'd be coming up next.
Potatoes.
Apparently, they make really good potatoes and hot sauce.
Yeah.
My cadet captain growing up was from Newfoundland, and all the stereotypes are true, I hear, including the screech stereotype. Have we drinking screech yet? We should get our hands on some screech.
Yeah.
I think you can buy Screech at the LB.
I think you can, yeah.
Fuck yeah. But not Russian vodka, not anymore.
Okay, so we're moving on to the next sauce, the final sauce. So yeah, this is the last sauce. This is the end of the fiery gauntlet.
This is what, like 13 out of 12, or what's
This is the 12 out of 12.
12 out of 12? There's only one 12
There were two 12s out of 12.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
But this is their hottest sauce.
Yeah, so this one is called Frig That's Hot. It'll ruin your dinner.
Oh.
I looked at this cracker in my stomach.
You look
It's
so
now
sad. Like
sad.
you could just see like all the joy and happiness just like drain out of your eyes.
I can feel my stomach like clenching a little bit, and I'm like, I'm still gonna give it another minute. I think.
The bottle reads as follows. The painful stuff. Habaneros, vinegar, water, Carolina Reaper, ghost pepper, capsaicin extract, salt, xanthan gum. We kicked it up a notch with this one. A serious amount of pepper solids with an added 1 million Scoville extract to really crank out that heat. It's too friggin' hot. You'd better stick the toilet paper in the freezer. This one's gonna burn. Good luck.
That's actually a good hack. Frozen toilet paper.
See this, Henry? Oh.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh fuck.
This will ruin your dinner.
Oh fuck. Oh.
Yeah, that's a little rude. Do remember you have an emesis bag. I don't think the sex has gotten any better for Leon over there.
Go stand outside. Sorry, that sounded aggressive. It's like I'm mad at you for...
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Stop fucking bitching.
Fuck off. You want this? You want that milk, don't you? Yes, you do. You want that
it?
milk?
You want it?
Okay. Ooh, that's... good.
It's the extract that does it.
Yeah. Does it like literally just like tastes like hot?
I hope the listener can appreciate these grunts and moans and understand the kind of pain that everyone here is in.
I can do this.
Future editing Ood, please just take all the moans and screams and just put them into one compilation for the Patreon.
10-4.
There's hint of like Cheetos.
Yeah.
I'm picking up no hands.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Man, my tongue's getting no hairs. It's like playing Where's Waldo after getting a flashbang grenade in the eye. You know. Oh. Okay.
All right,
He's like diving into the sour cream there, tongue first.
for a Cultivate Veritatis podcast, my name is Leon Filger, along with
Sage Murray,
Richard Bigley,
Who Godfrey,
A soundboard demon.
Bambi.
Henry Chapman.
Ghost Void.
Good night.
Love you, bye.
please.
I gotta stand up.
Playing us out this episode, we have our very own Leon Filger with his cover of the Bare Naked Ladies classic, Brian Wilson. Enjoy and see you in the after show.
Drove downtown in the rain, 9:30 on a Tuesday night, just to check out the late night record shop. We'll call it impulsive, call it compulsive, or call it insane. When I'm surrounded, I just can't stop. It's a matter of instinct, it's a matter of conditioning, and a matter of fact. Dr. Landy, tell me you're not just a pedagogue, 'cause right now I'm lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Oh, well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. And if you want to find me, I'll be out in the sandbox, just wondering where the hell all the lovers go. I'm playing my guitar and building castles in the sun. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And singing fun, fun, fun. Lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Oh, well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. I had a dream that I was 300 pounds, and though I was very heavy, I floated till I couldn't see the ground. Well, I floated till I could not see the ground. Whoa, somebody help me, I couldn't see the ground. Somebody help me, I couldn't see the ground. Somebody help me, because I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Oh, well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Drove downtown in the rain, 9:30 on a Tuesday night, just to check out the late night record shop. Late night record shop. Call it impulsive, call it compulsive, or call it insane. 'Cause when I'm surrounded, I just can't stop.
It's been a while since we've read reviews for the podcast. From what I understand, if you were to review a podcast, say a Culte Veritatis podcast, for example, it would help bump it up charts. It would help it prioritize in algorithms, and it would get us in front of new listeners, maybe. I think that's how it works. At the very least, it feeds our hungry egos. And really, that helps us keep going more than just about anything else. So, let's review some reviews. This comes from Yergi and Drooby, from the Misery Machine podcast. I know these people personally. Listen to their show. They're fantastic. I started listening to these great folks very early on and fell in love with the show and got to know them outside of the show as well. And they are amazing people. Interesting stories told professionally, I don't know about that, while still having tons of fun. They inspired me to finally start my own show as well. The Misery Machine is a great show. Check it out. Something that actually started a lot of positive change in my life. Keep up the great work, Sage, Ood, Leon, Bigley, and friends. From Yergi and Drooby. Yeah, and their show is popping off. They're doing great with it, and it's a fantastic show. Even if you have a bunch of true crime already on your device, add the Misery Machine. One more is always good. Next, this review is written by Showering with Beer. I just found this podcast and I'm binging it. You have to ignore the idiotic comments from the conservative crowd if they truly expected to have their American patriot views echoed here. They are sorely mistaken. Yeah, we wear our politics on our sleeve. We don't know how else to be. Any other way feels dishonest, so we're going to keep on wearing our politics on our sleeve. It's definitely not a normal podcast, and I love that. Everything has become so cookie-cutter, so homogenized, it is really a relief to have such an eclectic mix of people and topics in one place. Everything from the non-alien work at Area 51 to infamous killers to YouTube channels. There isn't a topic that looks uninteresting to me. I personally have to commend you guys on actually making the podcast your awesome approach to your topics. You've done a really great job with some very hard subject matter, but I don't think you have done it poorly at all. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, some of the stuff we've tackled has been intimidating, but I'm glad people think that we're doing all right. But I don't think you have done it poorly at all. On the contrary, I found myself in the same mindset as all of you were. Especially after episodes like The Daddy of Five, you're doing fantastic work. I love the podcast and hope you guys keep up the amazing work. Showering with Beer, thank you for the review. Jeez, my ego's going to be the size of a semi-truck. I'm not going to drive it to Ottawa, don't worry. But hearing people are out there that enjoy it as much as you do and think that we're doing it as well as you think we're doing, it helps me keep going. I'm going to edit a bunch of shit after I'm done recording this just because I feel motivated from this praise. So thank you for stroking our egos a little bit. This review comes from Catwitch Tarot. Tarot? Catwitch Tarot. One of those. Sage Murray is my queen. I love this podcast, especially Sage Murray. Goodbye. 5 out of 5 stars. Thank you. And last review for today. I love you guys and the hodgepodge of topics you choose. I know I can always expect thoughtful and intelligent discussion and banter with a bit of hilarity to keep things interesting. Don't change. Your beliefs and opinions show you are genuinely good people and I dig it. I'll keep listening for sure. From a Nick Ray's on Apple Podcasts. 5 out of 5 stars. Well, thank you for the reviews, guys. Like I said, even if that algorithm thing is complete bullshit made up by dude bros on the internet, even the fact that you guys are enjoying it, and the fact that you think that we're doing a good job presenting these hard subjects, it motivates us to keep on going. You know, it's a lot of time and effort to research and edit every week and do the social media thing and all that, but knowing there's a couple thousand of you out there that are waiting for our episodes and seem to enjoy them, man, that just warms my heart. So happy almost spring. Remember not to stare, because some people take that personally. Have a wonderful night and see you next time.